Welcome back to the show. You're going to love this one today. There's a lot going on around the world and it involves crypto. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digitalperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.59 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off 2.3%, and we see 67,600 plus for Bitcoin, off by 4.9 on the 7-day. 3,500 plus for Ethereum, slightly over 3,500, and we see we're off 8.8 on the 7-day there. Tether market cap, 111 billion plus market cap. And you have to ask, what will the Ripple Labs, the real USD market cap be, and how long will it take it to run up into the top 10? I don't know. I'm super excited about it. We should see it before the end of the year. USDC market cap, 32 billion plus right now. XRP's 48 cents. Off by 1.3 in the 24 and off by 7.6 on the 7 days. So market not doing so well today. It's not feeling too good. But we're ranging between 49 and 50 cents here on Fiat Link. We'll keep an eye on it. But with today's news, you want to be aware that there are calls for gold to get new all-time highs. And we're really swimming in that area now. But talking about 2,900, 3,000 plus even in some of the calls. And this is a great time to really say to yourself, hey, I need to take a look at some precious metals. Miles Franklin's the place to do that. You go to the top right-hand corner, click on the sign up button. And once you do, go to referral code. And all you got to do is put dig gold, just like that. Dig gold in there. And once you do, you're going to get the special prices list, right? Where you get the best prices. And if you call them, just tell them, hey, Brad Kimes from Dig Perspectives told me to come on in. And he told me to say dig gold so he could get the special price list. That's what you want. That's what you'll get. We're starting right here with China's president here. I want you to listen to what he's saying. This is a big deal. Now, I know most of us don't speak Mandarin, and I used to speak broken parts of Mandarin, but I needed an app on my phone to help me. But nevertheless, take a listen to this. I will read the interpretation. It says, we need to harness the historic opportunity for innovation-driven development. The new round of technological revolution and industrial transformation is gaining steam and creating new quality productive forces. It is important that all countries build an open, inclusive, and non-discriminatory environment for the digital economy. They should follow the people centered around AI for good principle and strengthen AI-related rules and governance within the framework of the United Nations. That is where we're at right here today. Again, the geopolitical stage is talking about the digital world we're moving to. This is from George Papadopoulos right here. Excuse me. The biggest news of the day is Saudi Arabia ditches the US dollar and will not renew the 50-year petrodollar agreement. And with the United States. Saudi Arabia will now sell oil in multiple currencies, including Chinese renminbi, euros, yen, and yuan, instead of exclusively in US dollars. And then I add this from BRICS News. Saudi Arabia's 50-year-old petrodollar agreement with the United States has expired with no new agreement in place. Saudi Arabia will now see oil in multiple currencies, including Chinese renminbi and yuan and everything that I just told you, right? So we're seeing some consistency here, but yet we haven't gotten an official statement from either Saudi Arabia or the United States that I am aware of. I've looked. Now, I've made the point over and over, and I must make it again. You know, whether they ditch the agreement or not, we're still in trouble, right? Because there's a huge de-dollarization movement happening. So for Saudi Arabia to move into this position, should that be the case, well, then it honestly is going to accelerate that. And this goes into the understanding that I believe that the XRP ledger is the next underpinning to the US dollar, so we don't have to rely on a petrodollar agreement anymore. And so we don't have to rely just on a gold standard. We could have a basket of things like gold, other commodities and currencies around the world, to combine them in a basket to underpin those reserves on an XRP ledger to provide that real value and protocol. And then we're no more are we emboldened to other countries to do things like this to us, right? Like abandon us after we've served the world so well. So then there's this. When I shared this about the Saudi Arabia thing, I wanted to share that I'm sure it's nothing. Financial Freedom here says this, and I want to read this. He said, "It is nothing. Just Ripple doing government huge favor and saving U.S. government a way out to print more money." Here's the rundown. Financial Freedom says this. Someone got to buy all the U.S. current and future debt bonds. Stable coins will have to absorb the bonds and government to print and from foreign sellers. All those bonds got to go somewhere to keep funding the government. Banks are already loaded and have unrealized losses, but if hold to maturity, they will be fine, but only if liquidity arises and they have to sell the bonds. So if there's any kind of liquidity crisis that arises, they would have to sell those bonds prematurely. They would be in trouble by realized losses. The Fed won't let them do that, as the Fed can't take those bonds and hold to maturity while paying banks full bond price as if it was held to maturity. Tricks of the game. Back to the point. It says foreign bonds are selling and government future printing more bonds will be what is backing RLUSD, Real USD by Ripple, and other stable coins. And that is where stable coins go from $280 billion market cap to $2.8 trillion in value, all by having to buy government bonds no one else wants. That's all. It's a game to keep bonds and debt going. And yes, probably by design, Real USD in a way is saving U.S. government, but you knew this already. Yes, I did. The great thing is that the Ripple future valuation will consequently be large due to this move. Ripple benefits in the future market valuation. They sure do. They sure do. And you know that I believe this, and Financial Freedom certainly knows that I believe it, because I talked on stage with Chris Giancarlo about using a value protocol to back all of this idea and understanding. And he agreed as well. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, we're not done with you yet. Here's more. Russia's Moscow Stock Exchange officially halts trading in U.S. dollars and euros. Uh-oh. Yeah, here's another fun fact. The Russian ruble has been doing better and more strong since the Ukraine conflict than it was before it started and before the SWIFT sanctions. Now, you tell me. You tell me. This here, you know who this is. This is Judy Shelton right here. I don't have to play this clip because she says it best here. If gold is so worthless, why does the U.S. government and other major governments hold so much of it? Actually, I'm going to give you a piece of this.
What can we learn from prior international monetary systems? I guarantee you, people such as Alan Greenspan and Paul Volcker, both of whom are very good friends of mine, can easily talk about the relationship between gold and having reserves and the soundness of monetary systems. I remember one day there was a particularly vicious op-ed in the Washington Post about me, denigrating me as this gold bug, and I was putting out dog whistles to that crazy sound money community. And I sent an email to Alan Greenspan and said, I quoted the first line of his famous article on gold and economic freedom, which said, there seems to be a hysterical antagonism against the gold standard, which we can understand if we realize the welfare statists just want to transfer wealth and redistribute it as a socialist government would do. Very radical article he wrote back in the mid-60s as an acolyte of Ayn Rand. Well, he wrote back almost immediately, if gold is so worthless, why does the U.S. government and other major governments hold so much of it?
I told you called Miles Franklin, didn't I? Yeah. Japan is ready, by the way. They're seeing everything that's going on. And Japan, let's face it, has not had the best economic situation for at least the last 20 plus years, right? So they're ready. Yeah. How do we know that? Well, we know that because Ripple's ready too. They're ready to serve. They're proud to launch the XRP Ledger Japan and Korea Fund to boost innovation and utility on the XRP Ledger in the APAC region. Yeah, with 1 billion XRP committed to that. And I think you're going to see that same commitment happen in every other major region of the world as well. Because if you don't, what's the sense of it all, right? Why would they do it in just one area? Citibank, MBD, and the United Arab Emirates. Citi and Saudi Arabia launched first of its kind 24-hour cross-border payments in the Middle East. Well, this is interesting because if this ties into the understanding that we're changing gears with the petrodollar, all of this is really starting to carry a lot more weight to it now, isn't it? Yeah. Now let's catch up to where that stable coin is, but let's go back to token 2049 here. And let's listen to this collage clip that's put together, and this is 24-hour crypto to put this together. You know, you're looking at Michael S. Barr, who's a former Ripple advisor, the former architect of Dodd-Frank and FSOC, the Financial Stability Oversight Council, and is currently now the vice president of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, where he is architecting, yes, you guessed it, stablecoin legislation. Along with Congress. Come on in.
The Federal Reserve has a strong interest in ensuring that any stablecoin offering operate within an appropriate federal prudential oversight framework.
How about that? Like maybe a real US dollar, the real US dollar.
But when are you going to move into stable coins?
Yes.
When?
Yes. Look, I think the stablecoin market is fascinating. Will we do or say more than that? Not today.
The Federal Reserve has a strong interest in ensuring that any stablecoin offering operate within an appropriate federal prudential oversight framework.
The potentially fast and wide adoption of a global stablecoin, potentially a global currency governed only by the incentives of a private company, is something that will deserve and will receive the highest level of regulatory expectations, and will receive the highest level of regulatory expectations.
So they do not threaten financial stability or payment system integrity. We have also provided guidance to the banks that we supervise on how they should engage with their supervisors when considering use of these products. You
know, being a highly regulated institution that we are, like, we can't touch crypto or stable coins or anything like that. You know,
in terms of central bank digital currencies, we continue to speak to a broad range of stakeholders. Our research is currently focused on end-to-end system architecture, such as how ledgers that record ownership of and transactions in digital assets.
We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Are maintained, secured, and verified, as well as tokenization.
We must consider whether our understanding and computation of traditional monetary and liquidity indicators need to be re-evaluated considering newer types of payments. Through cooperation across borders, industries, and professions, so we can develop a comprehensive and consistent approach of measuring these new payment methods.
The Federal
There you have it, but I'm not done with you yet. That's right, introducing Ripple's USD, real USD, ladies and gentlemen. A one-to-one USD-backed stablecoin offering transparency and stability on the XRP ledger and Ethereum. Coming later this year. Sign up to receive the latest stablecoin news. Well, you can bet your bottom dollar we're signed up for that. But at the end of the day, again, this is a big deal to me because this is where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, first it was the gold standard that underpinned the US dollar. Then it was the petrodollar agreement. I do believe that is being unwound, even if it hasn't truly expired today. It is certainly being unwound. And that is going to require something else underpin the US dollar. And why don't we do it in a way this time around that we don't have to rely on other countries to guarantee the value of our dominance of the US dollar, when we can do it ourselves? We can do it by underpinning the reserves on the XRP ledger and tokenizing all the bonds that are coming home, and using the stable coins as a new use case to soak up like a bulkhead sponge the hyperinflated dollars, offering everybody an actual $1 to $1 on their digital wallet on their phone. That's where we're going. I certainly believe that is where we're going, no question about it. And this is for fun right here. Vandale Black Swan Capitalist said here, he asked ChatGPT if XRP could save the financial system from collapsing by providing instant liquidity around the globe, what is the probability percentage that the central banks would use XRP in this scenario? Provide a concise percentage. Reply only. It said 85%. Well, go a little further down here, and it was somewhere in this that I think it was Matt Hamilton said he did it, and it said 15%. And then Vandale said, I actually ran the numbers again, and it said 20, right? So who knows what Grok will say in a moment like that. What I know is what I'm seeing adds up to what you're looking at right here. That's what I'm seeing. And I don't know what Grok's got to say about it, and I really don't even give a shit. What I do care about is what the world's got to say about it. And not too long from now, when legislation comes out, it's going to start to tell us what the United States thinks about it too. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.